Welcome back. You're watching The Great Escape and are about to embark on a pilgrimage with Malti Rao to one of Hinduism's holiest shrines. And it's right up there in the Himalayas. But before she gets there, she has to make her way through leopard country.
It was 9 p.m. An eerie silence had engulfed the area. There was only one question on everyone's mind. Who was it going to be next? Ishwar Dutt was the man-eating leopard's last victim. It was here that he was dragged out and clawed to death. For 8 years, the man-eating leopard of Rudraprayag spread terror in Garhwal, claiming over 100 victims. Many of the casualties were devout pilgrims, making the long trek either to Badrinath or Kedarnath. Given the sheer number of devotees, the man-eating leopard was assured of regular food. On 2nd of May 1926 at 10 o'clock at night, the man-eating leopard was finally shot down by none other than Jim Corbett at this very spot. Today it's a tea stop en route to Rudraprayag. Rudraprayag is where the yatra for Kedarnath begins. If you're a Hindu, a trip to Kedarnath is a must in your lifetime. That's why lakhs of pilgrims descend on Rudraprayag each year. Rudraprayag is situated at the confluence of the Mandakini and Alaknanda rivers. The rushing water, the rocks and the splendid setting of the confluence make it easy to spend a lot of time here. It's only about 100 kilometers to Kedarnath. Sounds simple enough, but in the days of yore, people walked the distance braving the cold, the leopard attacks and the landslides. Today you have jeeps, buses and cars making the trip. My first stop was Ukhimat. This is where the entire population of Kedarnath descends to in the winters. When the temple gets snowed in, worship still continues at Ukhimat. It is believed that even the Pandavas stopped here on their way to Kedarnath. After the war, the Pandavas are said to have come here in search of Shiva to atone for their sins. Apparently, Shiva played hide and seek before finally revealing himself to them. This is only one of the several incredible stories you'll hear on the way to your destination.
जी उखीमठ की तो बहुत सारी कहानियां हैं। उषा बाणासुर की लड़की थी। स्वप्न में उषा ने अपना विवाह कर लिया।
They say legends are based on true incidents, but the passage of time leads to all sorts of embellishments being added to the original story. The secret is to listen, not to analyze. On the way to Kedarnath, there are hotels and guest houses to suit every budget. But I was curious to check out a dharamshala. Run by private trusts, they are supposed to be absolutely free. Absolutely free is an expression few travelers hear. I was sure there was a catch. And there was. Well, the only guests here were sadhus, and I was told that a woman had never stayed here before. I guess that settles it. Since I don't want to be the first woman, I guess I won't stay here. Thank God. On the way to Kedarnath, you'll never find yourself short of dharamshalas, temples, legends, and sadhus.
अब केदारनाथ हमको जाना है पैदल पैदल।
तो चप्पल कभी भी नहीं पहनते गंगोत्री में?
चप्पल भी नहीं पहनते, हम तो कपड़ा भी नहीं पहनते हैं।
अच्छा।
ऐसे ही रहते हैं।
अच्छा।
क्यों? हम तो बाबा जी हैं।
मतलब आपका
Every sadhu has his own reasons for renouncing the world. Some say it was fate, some birth, and some for more mundane reasons, which strangely enough sounds the most sincere. But whatever their motivation, one thing is certain. On this route, everyone is a pilgrim, even me. Gauri Kund is where the road ends. This is where you bid your vehicle goodbye, at least temporarily.
अच्छा कुमार, तो फिर कल शाम को यहीं पर मिलते हैं, ठीक है? थैंक यू।
This is the last proper town on the road to Kedarnath, an ideal place to stock up or rest if you're so inclined. Gaurikund is pretty crowded though.
छड़ी कितने
In
की है
May,
भैया?
June and September, you may find that prices skyrocket here as everyone tries to cash in on the pilgrim rush. This is something you can do very little about.
जय केदार।
जय केदार।
जय केदार। जय केदार।
This road has been trodden by millions of pairs of feet over the centuries. That it's rough and steep probably only intensifies the devotees' ardor. If you're the sort who gets tired climbing up a flight of steps, you're in for a hard time.
It's a 14-kilometer long and arduous journey up to Kedarnath. There are many ways to get there. You could hire a horse, take a palki, a basket, or you could walk. I've decided to trek the entire stretch, so wish me luck. Namaste bhaiya.
They say it takes about 7 hours to get there. But with a weather like this, the walk couldn't be all that bad. When I started off, the sun was shining, the air was cool, and my enthusiasm was high. Suddenly, it clouded up, and visibility became almost zero. I was told not to stop, to just follow other pilgrims and steer clear of the cliffside. So that's what I did. But then the rain came down. If leopards couldn't stop devotees, what's a little rain? That's what I told myself and carried on.
The weather in the mountains is extremely unpredictable. You never know when it begins to pour. But don't panic. Almost every tea stall that you pass will be equipped with rain sheets like these. They're not exactly raincoats, but will do.
My prayers were answered when I reached Rambara. Tea shops and warm fires greeted me.
भाई साहब बहुत ठंड है बाहर, थोड़ा अंदर आके चाय कुछ मिलती है यहाँ पर?
हाँ जी बैठिए, यहाँ पर बारिश हो रही है, नहीं तो
This is the halfway point, a place where you can put your feet up for a while.
अरे यहाँ तो बहुत अच्छा है।
हाँ दी फर्स्ट क्लास। सरगों को डाकवान चिट्ठी देने आंदू तू रहनी।
For a price, you could even get a warm bed with a wake-up call thrown in. A cat nap could do wonders. This is Kedarnath. You don't have to be deeply religious to find this place spectacular. Kedarnath town has grown around the main temple. Here you can get books, miniature shivlings and other bric-a-brac. But then you can pick up any of this anywhere else and probably cheaper.
इसे थोड़े छोटे वाले मिलेंगे?
You won't have to look hard to locate the temple. Just look up and follow the crowds. Enthusiasm is one thing pilgrims don't lack, and you'll find it infectious.
Kedarnath is where the Pandavas finally caught up with Lord Shiva, who had until now been eluding them. It is believed that Lord Shiva converted himself into a bull, and on being chased, he dived into the ground, leaving only his hump behind here.
The rest of the parts of Shiva's body are said to have appeared in several different places, but Kedarnath remains the most important shrine. For the millions who come here, it's not the architecture or the location of Kedarnath that's important. Rather, it's an intangible thing called faith. You can see it on the faces of people from all over the country who travel thousands of kilometers to catch a glimpse of the Shivling and rest for a while in the hallowed precinct of Kedarnath.
Socrates once said, "See one promontory, one mountain, one sea, one river, and see all." Well, his pessimism is understandable. I mean, consider the fact that he never saw a great escape in his life. Goodbye.